everyone, Miss Eastman here. Today is our second day of order of operations. We're going to be practicing with the same objective we had yesterday, right? Using all of our operations with rational numbers. And the more that we practice, the more fluent we will be. So that's the goal towards the end of class today. I want you guys to first take a minute to look at this DIN here. They want you to review the acronym for the standard order of operations that we learned yesterday. I'm going to write the acronym here, each of the 6 letters, and then tell me what each letter stands for, okay? If you need to, go back to your notes from yesterday on page 14 to help you out. When you're finished with that, they want you to actually use the acronym PEMDAS, the order of operations, right, to solve this expression. So take a second, pause the video there, and then I'm going to switch over to the version that I already filled in, and we'll kind of look at what happens with this equation. Alrighty, so I've got my answers filled in here. Hopefully you took a second to try those on your own. We know that our acronym is PEMDAS. If you notice down here, I kind of put it in there already for you. And then we know P stands for our parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiplication, D for division, A for addition, and S for subtraction. Okay, so that's just a quick review. You guys want to have those written somewhere if you don't quite have them in your head yet. Okay, so it's always helpful to write them down on the side of your paper whenever you're solving equations. And that's what we're going to be doing in this second part of the DIN here. So I wanted you guys to have those down. If I look at this equation, if I try to evaluate it using our PEMDAS, we want to start with our parentheses here, right? And inside our parentheses, if I look at this first set, we're kind of treating that as its own expression. And we still need to follow order of operations within this smaller expression, right? So inside my parentheses here, okay, I don't have other parentheses, right? This negative 20 is only in parentheses to separate the two negative symbols there. I don't have any exponents. There's no multiplication or division. I just have our subtraction and addition here, okay? Like we said yesterday, addition and subtraction, they go together. Even though it's written as addition and then subtraction first in the acronym, it actually doesn't matter what order we're doing them in, as long as we're going from left to right. So in this case, going from left to right actually means that we're doing subtraction first. So let's see what that will give us. We have a negative 6. Okay. I can leave that alone as a negative 6. Sorry, that's so messy. I can change my subtraction to addition. And that 20 there actually changes to a positive 20. All right, I'm going to rewrite this 6 because it looks a little bit too messy for me. All righty. If I have negative 6 plus positive 20, that's going to give me a positive 14. Then I can bring this 10 down from the rest of my parentheses and add it to this 14. Okay, so I'm adding 10. And that's going to give me 24 for my first set of parentheses. Okay. In my second set of parentheses here, I have 3 being multiplied by negative 8. Okay, 3 being multiplied by negative 8. Just going to copy it over here so we can see that. And what this gives me is a 24 as well. But this time it needs to be negative because we know using our multiplication rules, positive times a negative is always going to give us a negative. Okay, and that's our second set of parentheses. Now that I'm done with my parentheses here, I want to rewrite my equation. So I was left with a 24 for this first set. I'm still dividing there, right in the middle. And I was left with a negative 24 for this second set of parentheses. Okay. Now that I have this simpler equation, I can see I don't have any exponents to solve. I don't have any multiplication. And there's not any addition or subtraction left. The only thing here to do is that division. Okay. Because these are both 24, we know that 24 divided by 24 is just going to give me 1. But we also know, following our rules, we have a positive 24 divided by a negative 24. So my answer should be negative 1. Okay. And then I want you guys to go through these exercises, try some of them on your own. So pause the video here, try them on your own. And then we can go through a couple. But the point of today is kind of to get that practice. So I really want you guys to try to practice as much as you can on your own. I will go through some of these, but others I'll leave for you to do. Okay, so pause now, then we can go through some together. Alrighty. So this first exercise here, it says a student named James evaluated the expression 11 times 10 minus 4 divided by 2. Okay, and these are the steps that he followed. But it tells us here that James did something incorrectly, and they want us to identify what that is. And then we want to fix his small mistake and solve the expression correctly. Okay, so if I'm looking here, we have 11 times 10 minus 4 divided by 2. And it looks like what he did first was put these two in parentheses and subtract them. Okay, so he subtracted first. When he did that, he was left with 11 times a 6, and he still had that divided by 2. Then he multiplied and then divided. Okay, so what did he do incorrectly? If he started with subtraction first, was that following our acronym PEMDAS or not? Not, right? He subtracted first when he really should have done that division first, or sorry, the multiplication, right? So we don't have any parentheses in this original equation. We don't have any exponents, but we do have multiplication and division, okay? So we're gonna do those first, and then we wanted to subtract. So let's try that together. I'm gonna copy my equation here. We have 11 times 10. Okay. I'm gonna be subtracting between the two, but I need to do each side first. Then I still have my 4 divided by 2. Okay. If I do my multiplication first, remember multiplication and division, they do go together. It doesn't matter what order they are in, as long as you go from left to right. Okay, so I want to start on my left side. 11 times 10 is going to give me 110. And then I still am going to have my subtraction in the middle. But now I want to divide here. 4 divided by 2 is going to give me a 2. Okay. 4 divided by 2 gives me 2. So that's my parentheses and exponents. I didn't have those, so I just kind of skipped over those. Then I did my multiplication and division, okay, from left to right. And now I need to do addition and subtraction from left to right. In this case, there is no addition, we're just subtracting. And when I solve that out, 110 minus a 2 gives me 108. Okay. Hopefully you got a chance to do exercise 2 and 3 on your own as well. Okay. If we remember back to our exponents here, we know that this is saying -3 times a -3. Okay. So we don't have parentheses. In this case, it's just kind of showing us what is being multiplied using the exponents. We do have exponents. We do have multiplication, right? 2 times -3. We don't have division. We don't have addition. We don't have subtraction. Okay. So we want to start with those exponents there. -3 squared is the same as -3 times -3. Okay, that actually gives me a +9. So that's my exponent there. Whenever you have your parentheses here with an exponent on it, that isn't saying that you need to do what's inside the parentheses first. All these parentheses are saying is that the 2 here only goes to the -3. Okay, so we get a 9 there. Then we bring our 2 down, and 2 times 9 is going to equal a +18. Okay, so that should be answer choice number 1. Okay. With question 3 here, we have the expression 2 minus 7 divided by 16 minus a -4. Okay, this line here, it kind of makes it look like a fraction, right? But we know fractions are the same thing as division. So what we're going to do here, we're going to follow our PEMDAS. We don't have any parentheses that we need to worry about. This is just putting a parentheses to separate these two subtraction symbols. Okay, subtraction from a negative symbol. They look very similar, so we tend to put parentheses on those to divide them. We don't have any exponents. We do not have any multiplication. Okay. We do need to divide, but there's something tricky here that we need to do first. Okay. When we divide, it's saying that we need to divide this entire top piece by the entire bottom piece. If you think back to yesterday, how I told you guys we have multiple different symbols for division, right? We have this symbol, we have our slash symbol, and then whenever we have something over something else, that's also division, just like in this case. But when I'm dividing like this, I need to do the top first and then the bottom, okay? And then divide them out. So if I look at this top first, 2 minus 7 is going to give me a -5. And 16 minus a -4 is going to give me the same thing as 16 plus a +4, right? Leave, change, change. So it's going to give me a +20. And now when I divide those out, -5 over a +20 isn't just going to simplify to a whole number, right? We're still going to leave it as a fraction, but we can simplify it to -1/4. Because if I kind of think about it here, if I divide both pieces by 5 to simplify, -5 divided by 5 gives me that 1 on top. Okay, -1. And then the 20 divided by 5, that gives me the 4 on the bottom. Okay, so that's kind of a little review on how we simplify our fractions. And we should get answer choice 3. Alrighty, so I want you guys to practice the rest on your own. Okay, so we have one expression here, and we have a couple more down here. Do some practice. Okay, let your teachers see how well you do on your own. I'm sure you guys will do amazing. Okay, and this will kind of get us prepped and ready for our next lesson. All right, so practice these. Ask your teachers questions on Canvas or talking points or email if you need to. But if not, have a great rest of your day. Make sure you do this self-reflection on the bottom, and then you're good to go. Alrighty, bye guys.